Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story, and I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
I am that dude, Bodkins.
Yeah, DP lost like, Steve. Yeah.
Right, where he's wondering he's like, I
Patty to patty.
He won style, like no weight classes.
Yeah, basically, like I said, there's been a couple guys that are like,
It's ridiculous. No way. There's nobody else out there. He's your guy.
That's just not my mentality, bro.
Yeah. Leave the ladder down. That's my always like, hey, somebody helped you out. Why not help somebody else out? Return.
Give a big round of applause for the one and only BodkinShow.
Or bringing Craig Counsell down the interstate. In a move unexpected. I had people.
I'm going to repeat that again, folks. I didn't stutter. Welcome to the BodkinShow.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, this is still the BodkinShow. Nice little new intro. Nice little layout. I got to thank my guy, none other than super producer Tanner, hooking it up. Wanted to change it up just a little, but wanted to keep this, the intro the same. But man, it has been a journey. We are now on year 3 as doing this, like starting year 3. So season 3 of the BodkinShow is kicking off tonight, you could say. The first 2 years, it's been pretty successful. I've had a lot of fun, met a lot of great people, and we're going to continue to grow and continue to do this as always. You know what I mean? So I've enjoyed it. We're going to keep rocking the place. Lots to get into tonight. The finals are set. I don't like the long layoff. It's going to be a week before we have a damn game. Last night, we had UFC 302. Bit of a snooze fest, like card-wise, I felt like. Main event. Loved the fight. Thought there for a minute DP was going to pull out the miracle that we all had hoped that I wanted, but Islam showed why he really is the best pound for pound. I don't care what Dana says. Dana White, if you're ever watching the show, I would tell you that, yeah. He says if you ever put John Jones in a room, John Jones is probably winning. That might be true, but I ain't seen John Jones fight in over a year. And by the time he fights, maybe possibly in November, it's going to be later than a year. And so, Islam's probably the best pound for pound fighter right now, active fighter, you know what I mean? Like, let's just say active fighter, we could say. And DP took him to deep waters in the 4th round. I thought in the 5th, maybe he could get it done, but nonetheless, Darce choke. And still, unfortunately, it's not that I don't like Islam. It's just that I'm a big, you guys know, I'm a big storyline guy. Wanted to see DP finish the story. Wanted to see him win. Just a good guy, just a good overall guy, and nonetheless, it's standstill. But hey, that's enough to we'll probably get into a little bit more 302 talk tonight. But I don't want to keep our guests waiting any longer. You guys know on Sundays we sit down with a guest. It could be anybody. We've had different guests, as you guys saw in the intro. Tonight's a guy that we and this guy have been hanging around the same circles again for a long time, and just never have opened the door for each other, I guess, and asked each other to come in. So we've probably been knocking at each other's door. But tonight I said, hey man, come on in. The water is fine. Give it up for this guy, Chiefs fan. Caitlin Clark hater, give it up for one of the hosts of the Vegas Benchwarmers, baby, my guy, Eric.
What's up? Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. I am not a Caitlin Clark hater. I'm just that's all there is to it. I actually have her on my fantasy team. I'm just real, and we're definitely going to get into Caitlin Clark later on.
Well, we could start at the Caitlin Clark thing. Now, I will tell you, when we were kind of going back and forth on, I did say I thought she was the greatest player of all time. Some of that's like I just wanted to hype myself up and hype my girl up because I'm Iowa Hawkeye fan. I was raised in Missouri like yourself. We kind of had an off-air conversation, like both raised in Missouri, but I was born in Iowa. All my family's from Iowa, so I kind of indoctrinated into the Hawkeye fan. So let us have one, girl. Let us have one. And but I said after she didn't win the title, like I always say, like, you know, titles matter, and you know she didn't quite get it done, but nonetheless, and she's got to getting it done here. And let me ask you, Eric, like it's been a rocky road for her in the WNBA, but where the hell is her teammates? Because she needs a Charles Oakley to somebody to slap some girls around, because this girl is getting beat up out there, dog.
Let's talk about the hard fouls, okay? So let's put it this way. When I was younger, I'm a lot older, so when I was younger, it was called earning your star. You had to earn your star. You came in, you talked all this shit, not you, but the Caitlin Clark stans. They talked all this shit about how she was going to come in, dominate. She's the greatest WNBA player.
The media, let's just say, like the big media.
Media. Yeah. So they talk all of this stuff, and you have women that have been playing and building the WNBA for years, that they're going to put hands on her. This is what happens when the media does a young person before they come into the WNBA. It happened with LeBron, Jordan. It happens with everybody that comes in and they're anointed the person. There's going to be all of this.
I get that. I get that part, right? Like I'm very aware, like, yo, you got to earn, like, you know, Jordan had to go through the Pistons and they literally beat him to death. But you know who, and I get the hard fouls, and like I said from like the very first two games, she's gonna have to bulk up a little. Like, you know what I mean? She's gonna have to bulk up, get some muscle. But where the hell is her teammates to be the enforcer? Like, you know what Jordan had? He had Oakley, he had Rodman, he had you know what I mean? He had Horace Grant. Like,
you only have it when that is over the top. That's the problem. Don't even the one from yesterday with Chicago. Was that a basketball play where Carter or whatever her name is from Sky hit her in the back? No. But if you literally rewind it a couple minutes beforehand, Caitlin Clark like rakes her face and elbows the mess out of her. So the problem that you're having is you're seeing in the media, in the age that we live in, you're seeing one side. And if it was bad enough, then her teammates would be coming to her defense. But they're not. That should tell us more about what's actually going on than what the media is portraying, because we've all been in locker rooms. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. He's not cussing.
Maybe they don't got that, and maybe they don't got that person on their team. I stood
got Aaliyah Boston from South Carolina that was coached by Don Staley. Stop it.
I know that. That's my question though. Is where's she at? Like, I stood up for Carmela Cardosa in the I think it was the SEC championship game when people were like, "Oh my gosh, she's so much bigger than her." Like she should. I said that girl punched her guard. I grew up a post player, like a big ugly down low. Like, hey, and I tell my son, you're the biggest guy out there. It's your job to protect the guards. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter what happens. It's your job you got to act like the biggest, baddest person on the court, even if you're not, when you're a post player. So you got to have it.
Probably
that's not what I mean. Aaliyah Boston's supposed to be that person. She needs to stick up for Caitlin, I feel like.
But Aaliyah Boston's going through her own stuff. She was a former number overall pick. She was rookie of the year, and she just got benched. Like, she literally just got back in the starting lineup. She's got to worry about her own stuff. We don't know what's going on with that coach. There's a reason why they've had 2 number 1 picks in.
I agree. I think the coach will be fired after this year. I don't.
He's be fired now, and I hate calling for people to be fired. But when you have those two and you're not running pick and roll on a regular basis, what is wrong with you guys?
Exactly. Hey, I said the same.
What is wrong?
I said the same thing. I said every play I got a pick and roll. Every play down the court, it's a pick and roll between. It's Stockton and Malone time.
You got a great 3-man with Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston. I don't know what that coach is doing. Now, I do give Caitlin Clark props because she takes it in stride. She doesn't. She doesn't complain about it. She understands. The media's going to ask her about it. She's like, "Hey, I just got to understand that I'm going to get hard fouled, and I got to expect it. I don't retaliate." I love all that. But everybody else, the media, all the Caitlin Clark fans on social media, I'm telling y'all, if y'all keep it up, she gonna keep getting beat up. I'm just letting y'all know. Then she gonna keep me beat up.
On the flip side of that, I'll say this, Eric, is they got to also protect the asset. You know what I mean? They got to look at it and say, this girl here, like, yeah, we're gonna rough her up a little bit, but the league has got more eyes on it right now, and not just because of Caitlyn, but because of girls like Angel Reese.
There's a lot of it is Caitlyn. A lot of it is Caitlyn.
Yeah,
it's homegrown. It's organic. It's something that I've said the WNBA needed for a while, where they have a college star that they can associate with and grow with. The problem that you have is protecting the asset means let's make her tougher, because this is just the beginning. Like, I'm trying to say, if she's going to be who they think she is, she's got to go through this.
Who they hope she's going to be.
Yeah, all great players go through this. It doesn't matter if you're a guy, woman. It doesn't matter the sport.
Agreed.
And ass whoopings. It just makes them tougher.
And I said this. I was talking to my buddy the other day, and I know it's probably people are gonna, and you might blow this out the water too and say I'm an idiot. I think what Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese can do for the WNBA is what Larry and Magic did for the NBA.
100%.
And they. Like the rivals are already there, right? Like just like Larry and Magic had started in college.
Yep.
They came in, these two superstars, and they're polar opposite type players and individuals, but they got that dog in them, and so does Angel, and so does Caitlyn. And I'm like, they could grow the game like Magic and Larry did in the 80s for the WNBA.
The biggest reason is, and I hate being the person that says this, but race sells. Race sells, and they happen to be polar opposites, very similar to Larry Bird and Magic Johnson.
Exactly.
So you're going to have the people that are going to pick their side in this country. Black people are going to automatically go, oh no, Angel Reese, blah, 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 blah. And you have a lot of white people that are going to automatically jump on Caitlin Clark, blah, blah, blah. It's just the way that things work. Doesn't mean people are racist. It just fucking sells. So then you already have it with the way they painted it. She is the Showtime, I'm all about this, the Flash, and that, which you had with Magic Johnson. She went to a bigger school, which you had with Magic Johnson. Then you have the homegrown, humble. I could have gone out of state, but I decided to stay in my hometown school, Iowa, French Lick, Indiana, and Indiana State. So you have the parallels that are perfect. Then they also go to places. Unfortunately, it's not the big ones. It's not LA and Boston, which worked out with Magic. But they go to places that are like, I don't know, 200, 300 miles away from each other. It's Illinois and Indiana. They're not that far from each other.
No, they're not.
Yeah. So you already have the rivalry that they're going to pack. They can travel back and forth. So they're going to pack it. And as long as both of them can be good, and lead their teams. And they also play at one point in time, they're going to see each other in the playoffs. So, their LSU game was the highest rated women's basketball game until the national championship. Yeah. So their Elite Eight game, the Elite Eight game this year, whatever. So, yes, I completely agree. I tried to explain it on my podcast on Saturday. I'm like, I know people don't want to hear it because they don't want to hear, that was a racial thing. Yes, 100%. This is what happens. It sells. They're polar opposites. But it just happens to work in this day and age. It doesn't help that neither one of them are extremely ugly. So I'm sorry. Look, I try to explain that to my wife too. I'm just saying this class, I've been watching the WNBA since we got the Aces. I've been to multiple games. I've been to playoff games. I love the Aces. But it is very nice when most of your group is people that are watching it is men. When they see women that are very, very attractive. Not saying that all of them have to be, but this is a totally different class than what we've kind of seen before. And I think that also helps get the eye because immediately they're marketable. All of them have Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Cameron Brink. All of them have sponsors. Could it help with the NIL? Yes, but immediately they came in and they're all over the place.
And they were already known names. You know what I mean? Yes. Most of the time in the WNBA, when a girl's coming, like the one girl who went number one, and really after that, you're like, man, whatever happened. If you follow women's college basketball, you might know a name or two, but it feels like the last like 3-4 years, and it helps too that the men's college game has went down, the women's college game has went up because the people are knowing these girls for 4 years because they're sticking around playing for 4 years, and now that's helping the Wnba grow because they're coming in as stars already.
I agree. I agree that they have that. I will tell everybody people get mad. My co-host hates Caitlin Clark fans, so he would get absolutely mad. But Caitlin Clark, the amount of eyes that she bring on college basketball the last 2 years was absolutely ridiculous. I've watched college basketball since Candace Parker played for Tennessee. I mean, I've watched it for a while, and never were the amount of eyes that were on there. Like, my dad has never said anything about college women's basketball to me, like since Cheryl Miller. So it is one of those things where it's like, hey, Eric, did you see this Caitlin Clark thing? I'm like, yeah, she's huge. But but I also think that the WNBA and the NBA did a great job in the last 3 years in promoting it. I think they need to get rid of. I hate calling for people to get fired. I'm about to say it twice in the first couple minutes of this. But Kathy Engel, the WNBA commissioner, she needs to go too. But I think they've done a fabulous job since the wobble. They've done a fabulous job in promoting it. Showing them when they come to the NBA games, the NBA stars coming to them, the NFL stars coming to them. The Darren Waller and the Kelsey Plum wedding, and then the video of Darren Waller and Kelsey Plum. So, I mean, that, the drama, all of that good. So, I mean, the amount of eyes that have came on it, I think has helped. And I think it's just at the right time. I think they will continue to grow tremendously but I think if Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, or maybe not even Caitlin Clark, I'm not saying, maybe Cameron Brink, maybe Katie Martin from the Vegas, somebody else that you can have kind of a rivalry with, that you can kind of bring it up, or it could be Cameron Brink and Cardoza, where you could kind of bring it up, but you need those players that people see in this draft to succeed, and you need them to succeed very fast, because if it takes 4 to 5 years, it's all gone.
I said this going into the draft in this year. There's probably never been a player that's got more pressure on her than Caitlin Clark does to succeed ever.
No, not in women's basketball. No, never. But she's had it last year.
And really, you could say top 5 in all sports. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because she's trying to carry and grow this league. We haven't seen that in a long time. You know what I mean? Really, since probably Magic and Larry.
The reason why I wouldn't say the top 5 is because even though she has pressure, she's not the only one growing the league out of those rookies.
Agreed.
There are 5 to 7 very, very good rookies that everybody knows. Everybody knows them. So I would say the pressure she had last year was enormous, and she handled it outstandingly perfect. So I wouldn't expect anything less from her. But at the same time, I think she, like I said, she did not have to succeed. She just didn't have to play like trash. That's the thing. She didn't have to come into the WNBA and be great. She just, because her team wasn't going to win. Most people understand that they suck. There's a reason why they're in that position.
Back-to-back number 1 overalls. Exactly. And I think they've had like three like top 5 picks the last 3 years.
There's a reason why. So she just had to put up points. As long as she looked good and there was a thing where you could give her an excuse, you were fine with it. But like I said, I would say those top 6, 7 have more pressure than anybody else, because even if Caitlin doesn't succeed, the eyes are going to be brought to her, and they're going to see everybody else from that draft. They're going to remember the Final Four, the March Madness, and they're going to see some of these girls that came along with Caitlin. And I think that helps.
Yeah, I agree. We'll switch a little subject. I know you're a UFC fight fan as well. Did you catch 302 last night?
I did. I only care about 2 fights. Kevin Holland. I love me some Kevin Holland.
I did too. Big fan of Big Mouth.
I would love to sit down and smoke weed with him, play video games with him. I would just love to have a conversation with that guy. I have no clue how he pulled that armbar out. I don't know.
Kevin, to me, is like when he wins a fight, you're just like, how the hell did he win this fight?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And then you're like, and then he goes into fights, and you're just like, he's one of those guys I look at and like, he's never going to win the title. Like, you don't ever think he's ever going to win. But by God, you want to tune in to watch him fight every time because he's entertaining. And the fights he wins, I'm like, how the hell did he win? Like the armbar, the knockout of Jacare from his back. Like, there's so many Kevin Holland moments. You're like, well, of course Kevin Holland's going to get it done like that, you know?
He's kind of like the only way he wins is if he goes on like a Sean Strickland and gets kind of lucky where he's in the right place at the right time and has the right fight. He's always an exciting fighter. But yeah, that one, I have no clue how he turned into that one. I'm going to be honest. I can't pronounce his name. The main event, DP's guy, the guy who went Islam
Makhachev. Yeah.
That guy. Okay. I am a villain lover. I absolutely love the villains. I was hoping he beat the shit out of Dustin Poirier. Not that I don't like Dustin. I just think the only time that you have great.
Bobby, what did DP ever do to you? DP is one of the greatest guys in the UFC.
He is. 100%, but I just admitted I like the villains. I always like the villains. I like the bad guys. So I don't like to hear the story. The story happens in WWE. So we already saw Cody Rhodes' story. We've already seen the finish of that. We don't need a rerun of this. I needed it. Eric. I needed it to continue. We need, let's be honest. John Jones was his best when he was on crack and doing other shit, and then going to the press conferences going, yeah, I did a weekend of crack and then beat you the next weekend. Those were the best ones that we ever saw. Like, we love that. That's why we love Chael Sonnen. That's exactly why we love it.
I mean, I do love a good heel. I love a good heel.
Yes,
I love a good heel.
Bad guy. So I mean, DP, it was good. I don't want to say I know Islam is very, very good and he's very good on the ground and he's very strong. But watching the fight, I have no clue how he actually secured that unless DP was just that gassed. Because
I don't think from me, when it looked like to me, DP was trying to get up, was trying to put his hand on it and was trying to get up. And Islam just fucking like a lion.
Yeah, because he had the guillotine, but you saw him go for it. I was just like, oh shit, he about to kill him. He
put him to sleep. Literally put DP tapped, and then he's like, I passed out.
I just think it was one of those things where he was over. First round, second round. I don't think he gets him with that. I just don't. That was more surprising to me than the rest.
Yeah, I thought in the first round, I said I picked DP. I picked with my heart. Because I wanted to it would have been a cool story. I think he's a great guy. As far as his, he does so much for charity, his home in Lafayette, Louisiana. And it's just been in the UFC forever. You know what I mean? We literally started this thing at 19 in the UFC and he's 35 years old. So been in the UFC forever. He's fought the who's who, and this was his final. You knew it 3 cracks at a title. And he didn't break through the first 2 times. This is it. This is his. So, Islam's going to be around for a while, I feel like. And why not? So why not DP? But I knew, within my head, there's no chance that he, you know what I mean? There's always a chance. But you know what I mean? I would be I wouldn't have put money, I would have always said Islam, in my head, I knew Islam was going to win. So I wasn't really surprised. I just got a little hopeful, especially after the 4th, because I had it 3-1 Islam going into the 5th, and then Islam. I was like, but Islam was bleeding. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, he's bleeding. Yeah. Hey, this is a good fight. This fight kind of saved the card because the rest of the card was a snooze fest. And I was like, here we go. DP's pulling up the shorts. He's doing all the stuff, and you're like, then he almost gets taken down, and then the Darce choke, and you're like, well. That's just, Islam is that good. He's that good, but he also looks beatable all at the same time.
He got that neck and it was over. Okay. So I heard you say he is number 1 pound for pound because John Jones is not active, right?
Yeah. That's my opinion. Yeah.
So who else? I'm trying to think because I know he's on a 14 fight win streak, right?
Yep. Yeah. 14 in a row now.
And he's got 4 title defenses, right?
Yeah.
2 of them are against Volkanovski.
3. This is his 3rd title defense.
Okay, so like there's no way he's above John Jones. So because he's active, I understand that. Like even if John Jones is active, John
Jones has never defended the heavyweight title.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. That what are you talking about? John Jones has never lost a title.
I know that. He's never lost a fight.
Been fighting for title fights.
I know.
I don't know. Like I can't. I don't remember the last time that he did not. And the only loss he had was the 12-6 elbow. That was the only loss.
Yeah. He's undefeated.
No. And how can you be pound for pound when you're only fighting in one division?
When's the last time John Jones ain't fought? We had a whole pandemic.
I don't care. You can't call somebody a pound for pound for winning 3 fights in one division.
I agree. So currently right now,
it's a smaller guy.
But he hasn't fought and he's hurt. If I was running the,
I'm trying to think who else is there. I mean, how many you have? Edwards. See, us, yeah. Everybody lost titles. Everybody lost their damn titles. That's the problem. Everybody lost their titles. Because the middleweight championship.
Patty, I know you ain't really saying Patty's in the fucking Bobby G. Patty Pimblin ain't. Get the hell out of here.
Isn't Patty about to fight Bobby Green?
Yeah.
I want to see what happens in that fight. I'm very interested in that fight. I like Bobby Green too.
That's
a
tough fight. I do like Bobby Green. If it stays standing, you got to favor Bobby, but you feel like if it goes to the ground, you got to favor Patty.
I don't understand why you would stay standing. I like some of these times I wonder like game plans because like in my head, they're like Bobby should try to keep it up and Patty should try to take it down. Like, of course, but I'm just sometimes I'm like when the fighter's like, no, we're gonna stand up. I'm like, why? Like, why? I'm sorry. Like, if I'm a wrestler, I'm gonna wrestle you. Like Ronda Rousey. Why would you try to stand up and fight? You are a wrestler. You're judo. Get on the ground. What are you doing? I just don't understand why they.
Well, you got to try to get in and take him down. Back to the Jones thing. The thing about Jones is he just hasn't fought. We seen him. He hasn't fought in over a year. So like that's why I say if he had a fight booked and was in line and you know what I mean, or had just won. Hell, even if he fought Stipe in November when he was supposed to, I would be like, well, John Jones is still the pound for pound.
All I'm saying is we've seen through history this dude can come off the couch and beat a world champion, okay? Let's be honest, okay?
He can.
Like this is I think we forget how good this man is. Like Daniel Cormier did not hold the lightweight heavyweight champion because until he left the division, until he got banned. And then he left the division. Like,
I agree. I'm not.
Daniel Cormier is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest fighters of all time. And I don't care if John Jones is not in the division.
It depends. It depends, Bobby, who he's fighting. The one guy I'm not going. There's one guy I'm not picking him. There's one guy that's out there today that I'm picking John Jones to lose to, and he's the interim heavyweight champion, and that's Tommy Aspinall.
Listen,
I think I would pick Tom Aspinall today to beat John Jones.
All I'm saying right now is I'm not picking anybody to beat John Jones until I actually see somebody beat John Jones. I've never seen somebody beat John Jones. And the only person, and I've seen a couple people come close, and both of them woke up and smacked themselves because they were dreaming. So, like, that's the
Reyes was close. Dominic Reyes is close. Dominic Reyes was close.
Yeah, yes. And didn't they fight again after that? Or
no. Dominic Reyes ain't won a fight since that fight.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He smacked.
He still hung up in his head that he almost beat John Jones.
He woke up, smacked himself, realized he was dreaming, and went back to reality. That's what happened. That's what happens to everybody that comes close to beating John Jones. So yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. Like the other titles have I get it because there's not like Sean O'Malley. You don't have a lot of people that have been held the title.
Volk was the closest guy, right? Like you know what I mean? Usman was there for a long time.
Alex Pereira, though. I mean, he held it at middleweight. He held it at light heavyweight.
Yeah.
Dude's had what, like 9 fights?
Yeah. I think you could make him you could say he's pound.
I would put him over Islam, and I do like Islam. Like I like villains.
Yeah.
To me, pound for pound means no matter what weight class you're at, you're one of the best fighters. You're the top fighters. If I was a heavyweight, I would whoop your ass.
So like it's funny. So Alex Pereira versus Islam would be if they weighed the same and looked, you know what I mean? But like Alex Pereira would love to stand up, and I would favor him in the stand up game. But Alex Pereira can't wrestle, like you know what I mean? Like
it doesn't matter. Alex Pereira has the one equalizer that does not matter. It's called power. I don't care.
Oh, yeah, agreed.
It's like Ryan
Agreed.
Garcia. At some point in time, for some reason, somebody's going to leave their face out. And he's just going to hit them with the left hook. It doesn't matter what.
Oh, yeah, I agreed. Sean Strickland changed his whole fighting style after that fight.
Exactly. And went to the Philly show. Yes.
He said, I ain't never getting knocked out like that.
Exactly. So I would, it's hard. I just think that that gets thrown around too much because to me, I like him. But realistically, he's beaten Alexander twice and Alexander went up in weight.
So Bobby's in the comments. He said, no, it don't. He's talking about me and Tom Aspinall. I would put money on Tom Aspinall to beat John Jones if they fought.
That's fine. How many other people have you said that against John Jones?
Not very many. None.
Okay.
None. I'm a firm. The reason I've been high on Tom Aspinall since like day one. I've been like a Tom Aspinall stan, you could say. Like, I knew this kid. I saw him the first fight I ever saw him in the UFC. I said, he's going to be a UFC heavyweight champion. And I've been banging that drum, flying the Tom Aspinall flag since. And the reason I say that about Jones is because that's the guy that's most explosive. He can do both things like Jones, and he's just so much younger. Like that, Father Time is undefeated. Like, and eventually it's going to come for Jones.
Wait, you mean to tell me that 2 years ago, Tom Aspinall was knocked out in 15 seconds by Curtis Blades?
No, he wasn't knocked out. That's false.
Well, I'm sorry. Is it TKO? What happened?
No, he blew his knee out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was just looking at his record because I don't really know who all he's fought. And that was the only one I saw. The rest of them.
So him and Curtis Blades, they're going to fight again for the interim heavyweight title in 2 months' time. But he blew his knee out. So really, that's a loss on the record, but it's not a, you know what I mean? It's what.
I know. Yeah, it's like Sean O'Malley. I know, I get it. I completely understand it.
Yeah,
that's why I was asking because it said KO, TKO, and it was 15 seconds. I was like, that doesn't.
Yeah, it blew his leg kick, threw one leg kick, and then blew his knee out.
Okay.
Yeah, tore his ACL, MCL.
Yeah, it looked like a hurt because he didn't fight again for another year.
Yeah. Came back, and then took a fight against Sergey Pavlovich, who was a fucking killing everybody at the time, and beat him.
I'm just, like I said, I don't know if he can beat John Jones. I would not put my money on anybody but John Jones.
I get it.
Like we've seen John Jones literally take a 5-year layoff and beat up Cyril Gane. Like beat the mess out of him. Beat the mess out of him. Like it's not even fair. And yeah, of course, like Dominic Reyes and Anthony Smith and all of them, they got kind of closer and closer. But he might have had
who was it? Not Anthony Smith, but
Alexander Gustafsson.
Yeah. He was close. He was the second.
Yeah, the first fight.
Yeah. And then Jones.
And then he woke up, found out he was dreaming, and got beat down 2 years, a couple years later. I know. I know. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just, I for some odd reason, it's just one of those things where it's like until somebody beats him, you can't get off of the pound for pound list if you're still undefeated.
I agree. I'm not saying take Jones off the list.
Yeah, but you can't go for number one and never lose, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, this guy has 3 title defenses. We're gonna move.
Yeah. I got into an argument today with some friends of mine because they were all on like Islam should fight at 170. I said he ain't even cleaned out his division yet. Like let's let him. I'm tired of these
No double title yet. Let's stop with that. You got to clean out your division. Dana, stop that stuff.
Yeah, like Volk cleaned out. Like I was okay when Volk did it and he lost to Islam. Like he cleaned out everybody. You know what I mean? The only person he could fight was Max Holloway for the 4th fucking time. We didn't need to see that.
Yeah, no, I agree. The problem was they let Conor do it, and then they let everybody do it.
Yeah. Speaking of Conor, I want to ask you, what's your opinion on the Conor comeback? We are, what's today, June 2nd, so we are 27 days away from possibly seeing the Mac is back.
I love Conor McGregor. Again, I told you guys, I like bad guys. I like villains. I like him more because I thought he used to just talk mess. And then when I found out that no, he was really about that life, or he tried to act like he was about that life, I was like, oh no, I love it. You throw a dolly at a bus. That is some ghetto shit. Let's keep it up. Your location. I loved it. Loved all of it. So we know he's on steroids. Like, can we just act like we're not gonna act like okay, so it's safe to say that in this space, it's okay for me to say we know that this dude was using steroids the last couple times.
For sure on the movie he was juiced up to the gills.
He's been juiced up since we know that. So I don't know, because in my thought process, he hasn't fought in forever. You're coming off of steroids. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. But Michael Chandler, he's still fighting Michael Chandler, has not been active.
Yep.
So
Chandler hasn't fought since the whole 2-year time frame. Really,
he did the stupid Ultimate Fighter thing, and then Conor got in his head and said, "I'm not fighting no more," or whatever Conor does. I don't know what he did, but yeah, whatever.
Well, they were just really, it was like it was just UFC and Conor. Really, Mike would have fought 2 days. Mike would have rolled out the couch, because everybody knows when you fight in Conor, it's the biggest payday you're ever going to get.
Yes,
it really is. The problem was they just couldn't get down a deal with Conor and the movie, and it's all types of shit.
Which, by the way, that was a horrible movie.
Yeah, I did not like it. I was not a fan. Not a fan.
How do you remake the Roadhouse and make that?
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm with you. A lot of people liked it. I was not a fan. I didn't need it. But Chael Sonnen, you mentioned Chael P a couple of times. I always say Chael P always says you don't get better at something by not doing it. And one thing I'll say about the difference, while Chandler's been off for about a year or so too, the difference is the lifestyles. We know Conor's out there and he's putting a little powder up his nose and he's partying. Mike Chandler's one of the most disciplined fighters there is in the UFC. So it's like the most undisciplined type person versus the most disciplined type person. And let's see what happens.
But you know what? Chael Sonnen can say that because he was never great. I love him. But he's not. The greats get away with that. Regular people like us, no, we can't do that, okay? No, we can't do that at all. But Michael Jordan can go out and play poker and drink till 6 o'clock in the morning, go play 18 holes of golf, and then show up and put 40 points on you on 2 hours of sleep. Kobe Bryant can go out till 4 o'clock in the morning, get up and do a 6-mile bike run, 5 hours of shoot around, and then go out and put 35 on you. Shaq got drunk in a game against the Clippers and put like 40 points on them. We can't do that. I can barely walk up my stairs drunk. So like,
True that.
Is Conor great, or is he just a great marketer? That's the question. Because if he's great, then is he still working out and training in this time frame?
Yeah, I don't think, and Marvin Hagler said once too, it's hard to wake up and get punched in the face when you're waking up in satin sheets.
That's 100%. But guess what? Sugar Ray Leonard woke up and punched his ass in the face.
Conor ain't just waking up in satin sheets. He's waking up in satin sheets on a big ass yacht. You know what I mean? So he doesn't need to fight.
I've heard all that stuff. When the more money you get. Now, look, I've seen multiple people prove that wrong, but only greats. That's what I'm saying. Floyd Mayweather has slept in satin sheets forever. Greats. The greats prove that completely wrong. So how great is Conor?
Yeah, I'll say towards the end, we all know Floyd was picking and choosing his opponents. You know what I mean? He was
100%. But still, I don't care if he was picking or choosing them. He still never hit the canvas. He hit the canvas once in 50 fights.
I'll tell you, Floyd's the greatest defensive boxer of all time.
Yeah. Now, of course, once he got to 40, he picked all of his fights. All of them. Yeah. All of them. We know this. But but again, he's great.
Yeah, he is. And I get what you're saying. The thing is, again, he ain't fought in a long time. He's only had two of his last three fights. He hit the canvas himself. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Was knocked out, really, especially the first time by Dustin Poirier, and then the second time was the injury. We can't forget him giving up against Khabib.
Yeah. About him giving up, getting choked out, quitting.
Yeah.
So it just depends on how great he is. That's my thing. I think Michael Chandler will win. But
yeah, Bobby G said Connor's great. He is also far from removed from the hunger it takes to survive in MMA. Two things can be true. And yeah, I agree with you, Bobby.
Yeah. So I don't know if he's great. We're gonna find out now. If he's not, he's done.
Yeah,
because this is it. He doesn't get no more big fights if he loses.
No, the UFC is praying that he wins so
That's
they can, ride the Conor train one more time. He's only got 2 fights left on his contract, so it'll be interesting because we are, only 20. Like I said, I think it's June 28th or 29th that fight is. So,
and besides, we've never seen steroid Conor before.
Okay? True that.
I'm letting y'all know, okay? Steroid Conor may be a different Conor. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. That dude is huge.
He was, So we'll see what happens. Then I want to ask you about the Chiefs. Obviously, back to back. How did that come to fruition? Being a Chiefs fan, I know you're living in Vegas now, so I'm sure you get to shit on everybody.
No, so I used to be. Let's put it this way: I have not been to a Chiefs Raider game because I cannot turn down my fandom. So there is no. I have not been to the Raider Stadium. I refuse to go in. I just to let everybody know, fan is short for fanatic. I am that fanatic. So I don't go to any of those. And once the Raiders actually, like a year and a half after they moved here, I kind of turned down some of my boisterous because I got into a fight at South Point and got kicked out of a whole casino. So, so I kind of turned that down a little bit, but I love it. I've been a fan since I was a kid. I grew up an hour and a half away from there. So my military base, the KC Wolf used to always come down to our elementary school. My dad was a Raiders fan, so we used to go to Chiefs Raiders games when they came. So I've seen a lot of struggles. I've seen a lot of horrible times. I love Patrick Mahomes, amazing. I think my current wife, is the reason why we're good because I started dating her in 2 months before we got Andy Reid. And as a coach, and then we are now married my wife. I had to marry her after the Super Bowls and all that stuff. But no, I can tell you last year after the Christmas game against the Raiders, I felt my soul was done. I literally said, okay, we're not winning the Super Bowl. We're going to be a first round out in the playoffs. I'm just going to enjoy it. And then somehow, some way, Patrick Mahomes does what Patrick Mahomes does and does great things. And, we won. And then our team decided to act fucking stupid and go and cause a 6-car pileup and then go and do animal cruelty and punch somebody in the damn club.
Yeah, the Chiefs PR team has been pretty busy this offseason.
Yeah, people just stupid. They're just dumb. Just dumb.
What's the is it Super Bowl or bust again this year?
So, yes, it is. It has to be Super Bowl bust. This is the funny part. It was the Super Bowl or bust to me last year. I think to a lot of fans, because we have fans that are stupid, and they just to let you guys know, for all the people that hate dynasties, I understand. I get it. I used to hate the Patriots.
Everybody hates them because it's not their team.
Yeah,
but
so I get it. I get the hate. I understand our own fans. I get how crazy they get and how stupid they get. I hate Brittany Mahomes. I understand. I don't like Brandy Mahomes either. So I get that too. So, but I wouldn't. Now it's Super Bowl or bust. I wouldn't say the last 2 years were, even though because we came off the loss. We had the Bengals. We lost, in the AFC Championship to the Bengals. Then we traded Tyreek Hill. So I didn't think last year was Super Bowl. The year before was Super Bowl bust. I was happy last year. I already told you I didn't think this was Super Bowl bust. We didn't have no damn wide receivers. We let go of Juju Smith-Schuster. I wasn't surprised that we couldn't catch anything. So it was if you watch that. The very beginning of the season, it was not Super Bowl or bust. We lost to the Lions. I don't care how good the Lions are now. We lost to the Lions. Okay, it was the Lions. So now it is Super Bowl or bust. But the problem that we have is we have people that are being stupid. So I don't even know no more. What are we gonna do with Rashid Rice? I don't know. What's he gonna do? But it has
and it sounds like they don't know what to do. That's why they took Worthy out of Texas.
It's so amazing because there have been 2 times in the last 10 years that have questioned very bad picks by the Chiefs. The first time was Mecole Hardman. I don't understand why we took him because guess who got picked 2 picks later? DK Metcalf. Still in my mind, I was like, why didn't we take the 6'4", 4'4" guy? What is wrong with you? I don't care that he runs a 4.3. He's 5'11". I wanted Keon Coleman, who everybody loves for the Bills right now. He played faster. He plays faster than his 40 time. I thought we needed a bigger body receiver. Look, I get it. We don't need speed. We need people that can catch the ball. So I don't want to hear, the drop problem. Yes, okay. No, he's not going to have drop problems with the Chiefs. What are you talking about? Everybody has drop problems with the Chiefs. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we have Kadarius Toney, we have Sky Moore, we have Hollywood Brown. What more speed did we need?
Well, Tony can't catch the ball, so neither can Sky Moore.
Neither can Worthy right now. Fuck, that was his biggest issue was drops.
Yeah.
No, we need it. I'm everybody is like, oh my God, listen, mark my words, we can rewind this. I promise you, by week 6, we're going to look at him the same way we looked at Kadarius Toney. I know he runs routes. I've seen him. I've seen his package. I've seen what everybody says. But we have 3 small guys. 3. Where's our big body receiver? Where's our first down with Travis Kelce? He's going to be doubled. We already know this.
Why? How many more years does Kelce got left?
That's
you know what I mean?
Saying.
Yeah.
That's so. In my opinion, we didn't need to go speed. We need to go big body. We need to go Xavier Leggett. Somebody. We needed some big body stuff. Now, who let this guy in here? Look, I'm just y'all can say what I want to say. I'm telling y'all. I'm gonna like him. I'm gonna root for him because I'm a Chiefs fan. But in my opinion, I was like, we have speed. We have speed. We need to change the direction. We need sure hands. Kianko, and everybody loves him now.
If once Andy Reid decides, because I don't know, who knows how long Andy Reid decides to go, but like it seemed like Wnba might have been that guy, and then like now he's kind of on the outs. I guess I don't really know who's going to be the guy to kind of lead the Chiefs continue it after
nobody that's currently on the team.
Wow, you don't think Wnba or what was the Bears the guy
Matt
from the
Nagy?
Bears?
Are we serious? Did we not see him?
I'm asking.
Did we not see him in Chicago? Okay, look, listen. I understand coaching football is very, very hard.
Yeah.
But if you've watched football enough times in your lifetime, I know people go, oh, nobody is a good coach in this place. How many coaches were really, really bad and became really good?
None. Not very many.
Maybe Belichick.
Maybe.
Where was Carroll? Yeah. But Carroll went back for years. Like that was that was he was a totally different coach when he came back the second time. That was like 2 different careers.
Yeah, Bill wasn't bad. Like people, I don't want to even say Bill because Bill was good in Cleveland, like was building something there.
That's what I'm saying.
Before he was,
you don't.
Yeah, I always say that too. Yeah,
we don't. And like you see, there's too many coaches. Like, okay, maybe
the retread. We usually, you know what I mean. Like, if you're a lame duck in one place, chances are you're probably going to be a lame duck in the next place.
There's a reason. We not just see this with Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
with Denver. Oh, he's going to go back and learn. And he did the same shit he did last time.
Yeah.
Immediately, he got rid of the best receiver and the quarterback. What did he do there? Did the same thing. Yeah. So, no, I don't. There's nobody on our team. That's the thing. I don't know. I can't sit up here and say who would I want or not like that because as long as we have Patrick Mahomes, I really don't care.
Yeah. That's the real truth, right? Number 15.
I'll be honest. I understand what it's like. Again, I've gone through horrible quarterbacks. I've seen all of them. Yes, we had Joe Montana for a brief time when I was in high school, very brief time, or junior high school. So, but I've seen a lot of halfway average quarterbacks that just get you to that next level. As long as I have him, I don't care who's coaching. Now, the issue you would have is what coach wouldn't want to coach him? So it's not like we're just going to be, Matt Nagy, so-and-so, the defensive coordinator, Steve Baxinola. No, thank you. We saw you with the Giants. No, I'm good. Coach defense.
Max was with the Rams too, I think, right?
Yes, exactly. So coach defense. But the problem that we have is, would Sean McVay want to coach him? Who else would want to coach him?
Yeah, everybody would want to coach him.
That's what I'm saying. You'd have teams that coaches would immediately retire. I'm done. Out. Yeah. Like you would see that consistently. So I don't know. Hopefully Andy Reid never retires.
Father Time waits for nobody still.
Keep getting good offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, and you have Patrick Mahomes, and you'll be fine. We're not going to win every Super Bowl. We may not win much anymore, but you'll be fine. Just collect the paycheck.
How did the Vegas Benchwarmers, how did that come about?
So sports books. So in Vegas, if you haven't been to Vegas, a lot of people know what a sports book is now because there's casinos every place. But in our casinos, there's these big things called sports books. And what they have is that's where you do all your bets at, but they have all the TVs on. They have separate parts. You could get drinks. So during football season, basketball season, any big game, it is packed to the rim. And we used to always go there and just talk sports. A whole bunch of us would, a whole bunch of me and my buddies, we'd go there and we talk sports. And we started noticing that people gravitated towards our table. It would start off with like 3 or 4 of us week 1. And by the time we got to week 16, it would be like 12 of us. And it was one of those things that we were just kicking around. We're like, we should start a podcast. We should start a podcast. And then 2020 happened. My co-host Jeremy wasn't even originally part of the conversation, but we met 2 years earlier. He jumps in and just starts trademarking everything. And then because we couldn't really go meet up to watch sports because of COVID, because everybody was on lockdown, even though our casinos were open June 6th. But they didn't let you do the same stuff. We couldn't sit in the sports book the same way we could before. You was 25% capacity for bars and everything from June 6th until December 15th. Yeah. So, I mean, that became our outlet where we just started reactions, other stuff, starting videos, and that's kind of how it started.
All right. Hey, I like it. Before we get out of here, I always do a dog and turd of the week.
Yes.
So I don't know if you thought about it. I should have told you before the show but I will go first, and then you can you think of one while you're doing one. So my turd of the week is none other than the NBA schedule makers, because we got to wait here for over a week to get to game 1 of the NBA Finals. So we got to sit through a week's worth of bullshit of everybody dissecting all this stuff. Is Tatum and Brown, are they good friends? Are they this and that? Is Luka and Kyrie this and that? Nobody gives a shit. We just want to watch basketball for the games that they are they're worth. I'm sure their friends are not friends. They play great basketball together. You NBA schedule makers are making us have to wait a whole freaking week to watch game 1 are my dang turds of the week.
That I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. If I had to say a turd of the week, it would have happened last night. Deontay Wilder. Your career is officially over. I have not seen a heavyweight get hit so hard that he involuntarily checked with the ref to see how he got hit. Like, if you watch that in slow motion, I promise. It's almost like Jab Zudo when he got knocked down and got up and said some shit to the ref. He literally got hit, turned around, and was like, what happened? And then he got hit again and was knocked out. Mama's come here. So, that it would be all the stuff he talks, his career's over. I'm sorry, but you can't get knocked out like that. And that was just horrible.
Deontay is a good turd because he, and it's sad. I was actually talking to a buddy before we do our dogs of the week. I said sad in boxing because like you get to this point where you're finally a name, right? It took you so long, and then it's like your career's almost over at that point in time. You know what I mean?
4 losses, you're done.
I get that. I get that they have a sync, not with the arenas really. It's more TV stuff, Bobby, because they don't know the arenas like at the beginning of the season. But shit, you don't think ESPN ain't sitting around saying we got to air fucking bullshit for a week? Like they can change it, man. Like they just change it. Like we live in a world where things change like that. They could have been like, you know what? They win this game. Finals start today. Finals game 1 should have been today.
It's 100% now for the sponsorship and all the money.
Yeah. It's all money.
They're giving time for the sponsorship for all the commercials to be made and all that other stupid stuff right now.
Yeah, hate it.
Me too.
So my dog of the week is none other than Luka Doncic, baby. I mean, he had 20 points in the first quarter going into Minnesota, and you knew after the first quarter is this guy's not going to let this team lose. Minnesota got their 1 game. And he said, not today. There's going to be no talks of comeback. We're headed to the NBA Finals. Luka Doncic is my dog of the week for all the things that he did. Minnesota was everybody's darling, and he said, nah, it's my time. Luka Doncic is my dog of the week.
I'm going to go with his teammate, Kyrie Irving.
I like it.
I need to apologize to you, Kyrie. I am extremely sorry. For the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I have called you weird and stupid and all these other things. I was on board with talking as much shit about you, and your redemption tour is amazing. The fact that you haven't caused any issues, there's no media talk, you are making NBA media look absolutely stupid. And I almost think your last 5 years is just a troll. So, but congratulations on him going to the NBA Finals again.
I said the same thing. I said the world owes Kyrie Irving an apology.
Yes.
I mean, now I get some of it partly on his own. You know what I mean? And he is a little eccentric or weird, you know what I mean? For some people, he thinks outside the box. People think Aaron Rodgers is fucking weird, but I'm like, yeah, he is weird, but you know what? Guy can still fucking play. And I'm a very to each his own, so you're okay to think how you want to think. But the world ridiculed this kid. You know, especially with the vaccination and all that, and it's all personal fucking choice. And we all said, you know, the national media hated on this kid, on this man for a year plus, and he just made a personal choice that a lot of people made. You know, and unfortunately, he was just in a spot that, you know, for him, he's played in the NBA, and in you know, in New York where they wouldn't allow you to play. Yep. And you look back at it right now, and we're just like, well, that was dumb because, you know what I'm saying? So,
well, the media, the thing that also they let outside things take control of the court.
The kid could always play basketball.
We always knew he was a magician. Always knew this. But the narrative, he's a bad teammate. All of this other stuff that came out. Remember, nobody wanted. Can we not? 2 years ago, nobody wanted Kyrie. Nobody wanted Kyrie 2 years ago. During the offseason, he went from the Nets. They said he could check a thing, and nobody wanted him. The Lakers didn't want to offer a second pick for him. Nobody wanted him. He played on the team for half the season, and Dallas said, okay, we'll take you. Yeah. And he turned his whole career around. Not even career, the whole narrative about him. That's, dog of the week. That would be my dog of the week. Man is amazing, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. I said we all owe him and I think getting out of the New York and Boston limelight and getting to a place like Dallas, where he's the second star, and it's not it's not LA or New York or even Chicago like Dallas is. You know what I mean? I mean, it's really the second. You know, the Mavericks might be the third team covered wise because we all know the Cowboys are number one in Dallas, and then maybe the Rangers and the Mavericks, but. You know, so I thought that was a good form as well.
This is the most stable. Granted, Boston was stable, but not the same way. When he got there, Brad Stevenson was just starting to rebuild. This is the most stable franchise he's actually.
And he was supposed to be the leader, right? In Boston, like, hey, you're going to lead this young group of kids to the you know what I mean? Now he doesn't. Now he gets to be a leader, but he's not the face of the franchise. That's obviously Luka Doncic. Let me ask you, who do you got before we get out of here? Who you got winning the NBA Finals?
So it depends on Kristaps. If Kristaps comes back,
he's playing game one, alleged. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think depending on him, it's a different thing. I like to root for villains. I would love for Kyrie. I know I've talked so much mess about Kyrie over the years, but I would love for Kyrie to break Boston's heart again. I would absolutely love for him to break their heart. I just beat the mess out of them. They made it to the finals again. You know that story. I'll be here if you guys can have me forever. And then he immediately leaves the next offseason and everybody's heartbroken. I want that feeling in Boston again. I want him to break their heart. So I would say Mavs in 7. Great game, but Mavs in 7.
Yeah, we picked on the LTS show Thursday night, and I said Mavs in 7. I said you look at it, you break it down. I think Boston is the deeper team, even with or without Kristaps, but with him, they're even deeper, right? And then I favor coaching. I favor the Mavericks. Give me Kidd over Mazzulla any day of the week, coaching wise. But I said then you really break it down. You got 4 really special players. And Tatum and Brown and Kyrie and Luka. But who is that really like out of those 4 elite players, there's always one super duper elite player, right? Like the elite of the elite. And I believe that's Luka Doncic. And I think so that's why I favor the Mavs in 7.
My thing is I agree with you. I think I think PJ Washington, Derek Lively, and Daniel Gafford are going to provide more off the bench than most of the other bench players for Boston. Outside of Derek White, you really don't have. They're deep, but they're not. I think those three to me are going to outperform Boston's bench. That's why I'm picking the Mavs at 7. I think those three right there play a huge role. And I haven't even mentioned Tim Hardaway Jr., who should come alive this series for some reason. I said that.
Yeah. Let the people know where they can find you at.
So we are on Twitter at LV Benchwarmers, and then we're Vegas Benchwarmers every place else: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that other good stuff.
Hey, Eric, I appreciate you joining me. It's been a long time coming, my friend. Thank you. This has been another great episode of the Bodkin Show. I appreciate all the likes and subscribes and shares. Be a friend, tell a friend, folks. I'll be back tomorrow night with the LTS boys on the LTS show, 8 o'clock Central, 9 Eastern. This has been another great episode of the Bodkin Show from my guy, Eric on Bodkins. This has been a great one. Have a good rest of the week, folks. We'll see you tomorrow night.